Hey everyone, it's Jacob from Martin's Woodworking, and today I'm going to show you how I painted this geometric accent wall. Today's build is part 1 of a bedroom series build out that I'm doing, so if you're interested, please subscribe to see what's next. But for now, let's get painting.
So, before we can start painting, we need to choose the colors, and the colors I picked were metallic gold leaf from Lowe's and a blue paint called Blueberry Pie from Home Depot. Next, I began to lay out the tape on the walls where I wanted my gold lines to be. This is where you have the opportunity to create whatever you want. I made sure to spend extra time on this step to make sure I had the design I wanted. I used 3M painter's tape and it was 1.41 inches in size. Painter's tape comes in many varieties of sizes. Once my tape was in place, I began to paint around the tape with my gold leaf color. I did this simply because I didn't want to paint the entire wall gold, then proceed to cover it up with blue. But if you're doing this and you have your accent color already on the wall, then just taping it off once is definitely a good option. You could also draw where you want your lines to be, and then just paint between the lines you drew. Once I was done painting around the tape, I took all the tape off the wall and began painting gold where the lines would actually be. I made sure to apply a good amount of paint, and I did a second coat once everything had dried. Off camera, before my second coat, I taped around all the walls and the ceiling. Then when applying my second coat, I was able to paint all the edges and the corners. As you see here, I wanted to try something. Because this wall had so much texture, I was worried about the paint bleeding onto my other walls. Once my tape was in place, I painted the white on the accent wall side, hoping it would clog the pores under the tape that were not perfectly flat against the wall. The idea is to stop the blue from getting onto the white walls surrounding the accent wall. As you will see later, this idea didn't work the best with the gold lines, but it did work pretty good with my white walls and gave me pretty clean lines. Now that all the paint was dry, it was time to tape up my gold lines for real this time. I was extra careful to make sure the tape was straight and pressed firmly against the wall and exactly where I wanted it. As you see, the small section on the right was actually a really big pain, but I eventually got my tape where I wanted it. And as you can see, I did go ahead and test the blue just to make sure it was actually the blue I wanted. Once again, I painted over the tape in gold to try to prevent what I talked about earlier. The idea was to stop the blue from getting under the tape that didn't stick to some of the highly textured spots on the wall and prevent it from getting on the gold. But this idea really didn't end up working that well. So I would just suggest skipping this step so you don't have to waste more time and wait for paint to dry. You can just touch it up later and make the clean lines. Now it's time for the exciting part, applying the blueberry pie paint. I made sure to paint all the edges with a brush before I used the roller. 2 coats were very necessary because the gold didn't cover up very well and the rest of the wall absorbed a lot of paint. Time for the big reveal. Obviously, this is the best part of the project, finally getting to see my idea come to life. I pulled the tape off before the paint was completely dried to avoid tearing or removing extra paint from the wall. From this view, everything looks perfect, but it's not. Let me show you. As you can see, this is what I tried to avoid by painting around the tape, but it didn't work. So I just used a small paintbrush and touched up a few spots, and this worked really well. And now I'm officially done. Overall, I'm very pleased with the way this geometric accent wall turned out. The colors are exactly what I wanted, and after a few touch-ups, I had the clean lines I desired. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm doing a bedroom build-out series, So if you are interested in seeing me make some DIY bedroom furniture, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.